Capture Your Flag is pioneering something I call near-peer learning, which is built upon documenting and filming the stories of up-and-coming professionals year over year as they develop meaningful and fulfilling careers. What does that mean and why am I doing it? I'm ultimately trying to solve a problem that I had myself. The old entrepreneur adage of solving your own problem, which is that I was surrounded by a number of amazing, inspiring individuals that were more or less at a peer level. And as I was looking out to develop my career, looking out 3, 5, 7 years, I really was at a loss. I didn't know that many people. I didn't have that many stories to compare and contrast, to build and goals and to set my path. The only thing I had was a very large library of accomplished people, of famous people that have made it. And ultimately what I realized is that as a culture, we really are kind of not given permission to tell our stories until we've quote unquote made it. And I felt like there was an opportunity there to fill in that gap between what we understand through our peer relationships and what we're allowed to learn from the expert relationships that exist. I wanted to put something in between, and I call that near-peer learning. And by interviewing these people that I've met in my life, that I continue to meet, and repeating the interviews annually, I'm starting to fill in those stairs that connect that peer level with the expert level, and hopefully leave a legacy behind that allows the people that come after me to not have to worry about not having near-peer relationships, because it exists. The stories exist. Now, how do you best tell those stories? There were two approaches. The first is the element of time and repeating the interviews every year so you understand how an individual story evolves over time. So what we're trying to do is apply that knowledge and those stories that we're collecting through these annual interviews to a continuum. That where you start peer relationships, whether you're in college or you're in early career or even in mid-career. But yet we are filling in the dots through these stories by repeating the interviews annually to actually show you that near-peer segment that connects to the expert level in industry, as well as based on what are the core attributes that are allowing you to get there. And you can get the data points that allow you to really watch someone grow and understand through their sharing about the decisions they're making, the experiences they're having, and how that plays into their aspirational career journey. The second piece of that is to compare and contrast someone's story with another's. And by cutting up these interviews into videos by question, I'm able to then categorize each of those videos based on this taxonomy, this series of themes that we've identified through these stories. What are the recurring themes that are going into this aspirational career recipe? And that allows us to compare and contrast what people look like today, and to learn from these different perspectives, from people doing different things in different industries, and yet with this common grounding of these themes. And collectively, with the time element and with the compare and contrast theme element, we really feel we can bring near-peer learning to the world and transform career education and how people think about and pursue aspirational careers. So what are my goals with Capture Your Flag? To bring near-peer learning to the world. We are leading by example with what we're doing and repeating these interviews annually and showcasing how we can connect the dots, right, between the peer and the expert. And we want to bring this to the world. We are certainly working to share our story. We want to distribute our videos. And of course, we want to build a community in what we're doing that really cares about our interviewee stories and our overall purpose. And on top of that, we've developed this methodology that allows us to go into organizations and corporations and develop customized near-peer learning programs that spotlight their own up-and-comers, that film and document their stories year over year to create memory banks and institutionalize that knowledge transfer and create a very positive-minded culture that seeks to understand what it means to achieve and find meaning in a career today. And ultimately, with the show and with our relationships with organizations and institutions, we want to leave a legacy of near-peer learning that allows everyone to embrace the medium and to learn from those around them and ensure that no one ever has to worry about connecting the dots on an aspirational career, because those dots have already been plotted.